Hello and welcome to Smart Family of Cooling Products. I'm Todd and today I'm going to walk you through our SACP41A-HS, which is a 40-ton high-static industrial air conditioning unit made specifically for rental applications. Now, what does high static mean? So high static is basically the force behind the air, the pressure that the blower is delivering into the system to allow that air to be thrown long distances through hundreds of feet of duct. Okay, so basically anything 5 inches or more is considered high static. I'd like to point out a few things on this unit before we start our 5 steps for startup. Before we go into this panel, we're going to look at this tag right here. This is your generator tag. And you'll see on here it shows your unit model, your voltage required, 460 volt in this case, and 460 or 480 is fine. Your unit RLA, which is 68 amps in this case, and the generator kW required. So you'd need 86 kW to power this unit. Inside this control panel, you'll see that we've got a low pressure switch here, which is a manual reset. You've got your high pressure switch, which is clearly marked. It shows your setting as well and reset on top. And then you have 2 condenser fan cycling switches. Now pay attention because they do look exactly like the high pressure switch. In fact, they're even marked as a high pressure switch. However, you'll note that there's no reset on the top of that, so that distinguishes that it's just a fan cycling switch. Okay? Up at the top here, you'll see some time delay relays and a GFCI outlet right there. One thing to note on the GFCI, it's only got 6 amps of protection, so you can hook your cordless battery up to recharge. You can plug your laptop into it, but you're not going to want to plug in your vacuum pump or anything like that. That's going to trip your breaker. On the time delay relays, the important thing to note on that is on the compressor, there is a 1-minute time delay before it will come on. So even when you call for cooling and it's really hot outside, that compressor won't come on immediately. So just be patient. Let that time delay relay time out and then your compressor will fire up. This panel here is your operator panel, your user interface panel. You will see in here we've got your operator instructions are listed right up top there. So that basically tells you how to go through startup. This is your temperature controller, which will control the refrigeration system. Your cooling probe selection, so you can select return air or entering, and leaving or supply air as your means of controlling the refrigeration circuit. Here's your speed pot for controlling the blower airflow. Right now I've got it a little bit closer to the minimum, which is where you want it before you do a startup. I've got the blower set in VFD. If you do have any issues with the VFD, you can switch over to bypass and your condenser fans will cycle off of the pressure switches we looked at inside this cabinet. And then lastly, you've got your cooling selector switch. Under normal operating mode, if you're on a job site, you'll typically run in local. I'm running this in hand just for our testing purposes. Let's take a quick look at the compressor section right here. One other thing to note, there's a motor protection module on this unit for the compressor, which protects the compressor if it gets too hot. That's actually located inside that electrical box right here. However, there's no reset for it. So if by some chance you have a trip and you figured out it's the motor protection module, the only way to reset that is to kill power to the entire unit for at minimum 5 minutes. It'll probably take more like 20 to 30 minutes. Okay? While we're on this side, we'll take a look at the unit nameplate right here and the rigging diagram. The unit nameplate will show you the unit factory order number and the serial number. So if you ever have to call for spare parts, service issues, anything like that, you can refer right here to these 2 spots. We'll need the factory order and the serial number. You've got your model. It shows you your voltage again. Your refrigerant is R410A. Your charge for the circuit. And then you can even find parts here for your condenser fan and your blower motor. And then down here is additional electrical information. You can see your RLA, your minimum circuit amps, and your max fuse size, your MFS. All right. Okay, so now that we've covered all that, let's talk about safety. The job always begins and ends with safety. Here at Smart Family, we have a required amount of PPE that must be worn in order to work on any Smart Family equipment. If you are doing work on a job site or at a branch, you need to check with the job site or the branch and check their requirements, as well as you want to use whatever is most stringent. Okay. Here at Smart Family, our requirements are a hard hat, safety glasses, gloves as approved per the job, a reflective vest or clothing, and then steel-toed boots or shoes. Okay. Now, while we're talking about safety, we also need to mention you must be trained and authorized to work on any rental HVAC equipment. All right. This video is great. It's very informative and helpful. However, it does not give you permission to work on the equipment. You have to have proper training and authorization. Additionally, on safety, we need to talk about power. This unit comes with a unit disconnect. It's right here. It covers everything downstream of the unit. However, it's the customer's responsibility to provide upstream disconnect means as well. Now that could be a customer MCC, could be an I-line panel, or it could be a disconnect at the generator. Whatever you choose, you have to have upstream disconnect means. All right. Okay. At the point we're talking about the 5 steps of startup. The very first step is about as easy as it comes. When the unit shows up, you have to do a walk around and check the unit for damage. We all know these things go down the highway, they come from different job sites, they come from different branches. There's always a chance they were damaged somewhere in between the place it left and when it got to your destination. So you want to do a walk around, make sure there's no damage. If there's no damage, then you're fine, move on. If there is damage, please be sure and report it back to the branch it came from. Number 2 is to make sure we have proper airflow to the unit. So we're going to walk around the unit. Here's our return ducts. And on the returns, no matter what the job requirements are, you must have both return duct doors open. So even if you're pulling return air and you've only got one return air duct, you're going to have the second duct door open, pulling in outside air. I'm going to starve the unit. So we've got our returns open. Now we're going to come around to our outlets or our supplies. And we've got 2 of those, one on each side here. We're just going to go ahead open this one, and we'll go ahead and open this one right away too. Okay, duct doors are handled. We're good to go there. We're ready for step 3, okay? Okay, so now we're ready for step 3, which is to inspect your air filters. We're still here at the factory, so obviously you can see these are clean. There's no dirt on them whatsoever, so they're ready. One thing to note on the filter media, it is washable and cleanable. We do have a service bulletin for that, so if you need to clean these, just let us know. We can send that over to you. And they are washable several times before you do have to replace them. And whatever you do, we recommend never running the unit without filters. We also strongly suggest that you don't use the paper style filters, because those can, if they get wet, literally get sucked straight in. So now we're going to talk about step 4, which is to inspect your drain pan. Our drain pan's right here. You can see it's clean, free of debris. You want to make sure there's nothing in there, mainly because sometimes they're leaving a job site and guys will just throw stuff in there. They also do get dirty over time from job sites in general. But you don't want stuff getting sucked into the blower inlet right there, whether it's rags, duct maybe, anything that could be shoved in there. All right, so just make sure that's clean. Your filter access, you can see right here, there's a stopper right here, and behind that are your filters, so it's easily, you can pull those right out. We're going to turn around and look down here. This is your condensate drain pan outlet. So there's a P-trap internal coming from the condensate pan internal to the skid. There's a P-trap and it comes out right here. This is a standard garden hose connection, so you just want to hook something up to it and run it away from. All right. So those are the first 4 steps, and step 5 was what? Start the unit, right? So let's head back up this way. Okay, so now we're ready for step 5. We're going to start the unit. We verified correct power. We've gone through our first 4 steps. One thing before I put power on the unit, real quick, just make sure your cooling and airflow switches are in the off position. Just want to make sure that's handled before you turn on this main unit disconnect. We're going to do that. We're going to see our incorrect power light comes on. It will time, and there goes our control power light. So it's on. We're now ready for airflow. And remember, we're starting it in the min or close to minimum airflow position on that speed pot we showed you earlier. Time delay just clicked out. Your airflow will start, and it's on VFD, so it's going to ramp up slowly. All right. And we've got a little bit of airflow right now. It's working its way up. I'll turn it up a little bit more. I'm probably about 35 to 40% right now. We've got that running. Once you've verified your airflow, and we've got reasonable airflow right there, we're going to go ahead and turn our cooling on. And again, keep in mind your compressor has a 1-minute time delay, so it's going to take a minute for that to actually kick on and start cooling your air. Okay, so now our compressor's kicked on. We should start to feel some cooling. It's already starting to get a little bit cooler coming out of here. One thing to note on the operator panel, on the temperature controller right there, the Corel IR33, if for any reason you do need to adjust set points on that, we do have a video on our YouTube channel under Smart Family of Cooling Products that you can look up the IR33. You can find that video. It'll show you how to adjust those set points if necessary, okay? And the settings from the factory are also located in your IOM binder. And this feels pretty good right now, so I'm going to stand over on this side right here. Just want to thank everyone for watching. We're going to go ahead and run through real quick the 5 steps. First one was to do a walk around on the unit. Second was to ensure you have enough airflow and don't starve the unit. Third one was to double check your filters, make sure they're installed and are clean. And then the 4th one was checking the drain pan to make sure it was clean, free of debris. And last but not least was starting the unit. All right, thanks everyone for watching. We hope you get some good information out of this video, especially about the unit itself, and stay safe out there.